What up, losers? Welcome to Safe State Society, and this is our inaugural. Not like we haven't done this before, but this is the new era, a new age. Welcome to Safe State
New
Society.
age.
New age. A new age of fighters.
New rage.
New rage. My name is Bamidele Ojo, and I'm joined by
Elliott Mest.
Yes, and we're here to discuss something that our hero Jim Sterling has been talking about the past couple.
Thank God for him.
Thank God for Jim Sterling. Thank you. He made a. So just to run over the facts, he basically made a video about how Sekiro. He doesn't like Sekiro, but that's okay, or something like that. You remember? You must have watched
it makes me sad. So it makes me sad because he made a video, and the gist of the video is, I don't like Sekiro, and that's okay. And the problem that bothered me is that he had to start the video and say, I've played this Dark Souls game 1, 2, and 3 and Bloodborne. I beat them all. I love Dark Souls, and just like talked it up for like 5 minutes. And then he said, and I don't like Sekiro. And I don't think that it's necessary for us to have to do this like PR spiel every single time we don't like a game, so that we have to dodge a bullet from every single fan who loses their freaking mind just because you don't like it. Drives me crazy. And I love Dark Souls, so I don't, and I feel like I also feel obligated to say that before people are like, they go crazy, because I don't know, these games they're not for everybody. But he felt like he had to say all this extra nonsense just to criticize Sekiro, or not even criticize it. He says it's a good game, he just doesn't like it, and he's still gonna get shit for it. I can see it already.
No, I didn't even bother to go to look at the comment section of that video. I'm just gonna go over my brief history. I initially hated the Souls games with a fucking passion. I still kind of loathe them to a degree, but I've come to have a grudging respect for the games. I love Bloodborne. I'll tell that right now. So I went through a phase where I hated Dark Souls. I went through a phase where I absolutely loved it. I still love it. But going into Sekiro, I went in with the mindset like, okay, this is another From game. It's gonna be like Souls, and then I was totally flipped on my head, and then it's not what I thought it would be. And the fights I would get into in the game, like boss fights that usually would be exhilarating after I defeat the boss, left me feeling defeated and deflated at the end. So now I'm just like, I'm not into Sekiro as much as I was, say, into Bloodborne. And
it's way different. It's way different. And that's the thing. Like, people, it's okay that it's different. It's okay you don't like it. I don't know why that people this is the thing. Like, when we were kids, you had to like every game because there weren't that many great games. I mean, there were a lot of them, but they weren't all coming out all the time. Nintendo made like 4 great games a year, so you just played them forever. Now you can take your pick, man. There's so many good games out. Why spend time playing one you don't like? Forcing yourself to like it.
Good point. I think it comes down to a little bit of clout, at least, to say like, oh yeah, I beat Dark Souls, I beat Bloodborne, I beat what have you not.
But who cares? Because there's like, somebody already beat Sekiro in an hour. Someone already they're running around beating these games so quick. Like, who cares about your clout? Like, whatever. Anyway, I like it a lot. I think it's a great game, but it's also, I mean, I did not like it at first because I was trying to play it like Dark Souls. You can't play it like Dark Souls. It's like completely different. It's all about parrying and shit, which Dark Souls never really forced you to do. Now you have to do it all the time, and it's easier. But if you don't like parrying, you're not gonna like Sekiro. You can't.
I don't mind parrying. That's how I beat Gwyn at the end of Dark Souls, is by having to learn how to parry. And you know what? To be honest, I barely used parrying throughout that game. And then when I realized that everyone that I summoned when we'll get to this part about summoning, everyone I summoned to the game was going at it by brute forcing Gwyn and then dying, I decided to play it super defensively, and I ended up beating Gwyn. Oh, I remember reading a comment that someone had made about Sekiro and how it's great that it's solely single player based, because this person felt that people who had summoned their way, if you're not familiar with the Souls games or what's that other game? Bloodborne, you can summon people to cooperatively help you with bosses or difficult stuff. Sekiro's it's single player all the way through. There's no way you can get any outside help, and people feel that's like where the badge of honor is that you cannot summon your way through this game, that you're forced to do the game by yourself, and that separates the wheat from the chaff and all that stuff. So these artificial badges that people give one another. It was a cute thing at first, dude, with the whole get good culture, but now it's become this whole monster that's become more obnoxious than funny.
Well,
And
I always think about that get good shit because I remember I got stuck in like Dark Souls 2 at one point, and so like I looked up what to do, and like there were these two giant enemies in my way in Earthen Peak, and I looked up like how do I get past these guys, and the guide just said once you beat them. I was like, oh, so there is no way to get. You just beat everything. That's how you play this game. You just like there are no tips. You just get good. But the crazy thing, like the Dark Souls community is terrible. Like the people, like a lot of the content creators are great, but the fans you meet are so annoying because they're like they put all these arbitrary rules on how to play. Like we were talking about summoning, like if you summon, apparently you didn't play right. If you use a Drake sword or Black Knight weapons, or like it's literally endless. If they even have rules for PvP. Like some people are morons. Like they're like, if you didn't bow before the fight, I don't know. Yeah, it's so insane. And then people get really mad. Now the other thing is, my favorite though is when you beat somebody, they point down at you, which they think that's like teabagging, but they also throw dung piles at your corpse.
So the culture it's humorous, but it's also got a dark side, and that's where we get the tryhards and the people who take it way more seriously than they should.
Yeah. Well, you can't really form your opinion on any community based on like what 14-year-olds and neckbeards say, which is like a lot of the people you'll encounter in the comment sections and on Twitch, in the Twitch chat. Like there's a streamer that they literally drove him crazy. I can't remember his name, but he was like a World of Warcraft streamer, and he switched to Dark Souls. And they just drove him crazy by like never giving him any positive reinforcement at all while he's playing. His chat was just constantly trolling him, constantly telling him like, if you do this, you're not legitimate. Like I get it, you want to play whatever, but like I mean, look, I did Dark Souls 2 soul level 1. I told you this, but then I also when I play
what exactly does that mean, by the way? Soul level.
That means you just don't level up. Like you can level up your weapons.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's crazy. You play the game at level 1, you get picked deprived, so you start at level 1, and then you just you can level up your weapons, but you can't add any stats. And in Dark Souls, like
that dude, did you say that you picked deprived?
Yeah, you got to pick deprived, the naked guy.
I literally live a life.
You are the deprived.
Deprived. So I'm constantly soul level 1.
Yeah, you're soul level 1. Your life is a soul level 1. Plus, you've got a bunch of status effects too, like all the time.
Jeez, like what status effects? What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know.
There we go.
Trying to think.
I love it.
I know.
No, why do you think about that? I was just thinking about the culture behind this whole get good. It has to stem from like the days of the arcade where like you had to get good because you're blowing your money on a game. So like this has a history. This isn't just a new thing. It's just
fighting games are the ultimate in that because like people make up tons of rules. I play Soul Calibur all the time, and people are like, if you throw or if you ring out, then you're. I don't know. They don't always say cheating, but they call you a pussy, or they say like they
doesn't make any sense. Those are in the
call
game.
You a scrub. Yeah, exactly. I love ring outs. One hit kill. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I do that? Yeah, no run backs.
There's this list. I'm pretty sure
the salty run back.
Yeah, there's this list that someone did for Tekken 7 where like if you choose this character, no run backs, pick another character.
Well, fighting games are the ultimate in that it has the most people that are like tryhards that will do anything it takes to win at all costs, but it also has so many people that are like they just make up rules. They make up their own rules.
It's like the kid in the schoolyard back when we had recess. He couldn't take losing, so he would just make up all sorts of rules to make it look like he didn't lose, but you lost instead. So like, dude, we're all still giant kids. That's what it looks like.
my point with the soul level 1 thing, like I did that because I personally, I've tried it in all of them. The only ones I beat Dark Souls 1 and 2 soul level 1 because I thought it was like a fun challenge. But when I play that game normally, and even at soul level 1, I was offering myself to be summoned to like help with bosses.
Amen.
Or I tried not to summon people because I was like streaming and it would be more fun like that. But on my normal runs, of course I summon people. It's part of the game. Like you can't complete most of the covenants if you don't summon. you're missing so much of the content if you don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my issue, man. Not necessarily my issue. That's how. Okay, so for the uninitiated who don't know my history with the Souls games, I just told you I hated them initially. So I couldn't beat Dark Souls for like the longest time, but then I got Bloodborne, and I spent most of my time summoning help for each of the bosses. But I did run it back and help people on their bosses. So I wanted to be champion. But that being said, I went back and played Dark Souls, and occasionally I would summon people for help, but for the most part, I would run through the game by myself.
It's hard to summon in the first one.
It really is, dude. It's a whole other beast. It's no way. It's not as easy. Obviously,
this is an older game, so there aren't as many people playing it. For one,
yeah, exactly.
And second, like the system wasn't as refined, so it was really hard to co-op.
In fact, the only I'm looking because I recorded the entirety of my Dark Souls 1 run, and I think the only time I was ever able to get a consistent summon was either for Ornstein and Smough. And Gwyn, because I guess those are the two most popular bosses or something. Everyone else I had to handle by myself. Everyone else,
everyone else,
comedy, Bill Clinton's Better Chaos. I couldn't like it was all solo, all dolo.
Nito. All dolo. So I was pulling my hair out trying to kill Gwyn because I didn't know how to parry. I sucked at parrying. I mean, it took me forever to beat that game. When it came out, I had to get good, man. And at the very end, I was pulling my hair out trying to beat Gwyn. And I wanted nothing more than to summon someone and help me. But that's also the biggest PvP area in the game. So you're running around trying to summon people to help with the final boss, and people are jumping into your game trying to kill you. And so it's just like, even trying to summon, it's not easier. It's not easier. You're going to waste a lot more time trying to figure it out. And
I had the complete opposite of that. I had people who were constantly trying to help me with Gwyn, but they all died. And it was not for a lack of trying. They would get in and they would get him to like a point where like you think, oh, we got this. They would make one misstep and then they would die. And it's like just me and some angry boss. And I'm by myself. I'm like, this is great. This is perfect. I love it.
Yeah, and the boss gets more health if you bring a friend in.
But you know what? I loved it.
Wasn't it great? But the other thing that's crazy is like even to that point, like they still haven't figured out the co-op, because in Dark Souls 3, there's a covenant you can join where it's designed to help other people that are getting invaded. So like, let's say you're an invader, you invade someone. If someone else was a member of this other covenant, they would get triggered in their game, and it would bring them over. So if you got invaded, you also might get some help. Like another player would come in, and that's great in theory, right? But it basically never worked. Like 9 times out of 10, it would take so long for the help to arrive that the player would either die or the invader would die or it just wouldn't work. And so, like, I'm telling you, like, they still haven't figured out the co-op.
Do you remember that forest with the cat in Dark Souls?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what it's called. Darkroot, yeah.
Is it Darkroot?
Mm-hmm.
I thought
the big cat.
Isn't that Darkroot Basin?
There's Garden and Basin.
Basin
is at the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay, wherever the cat is, the fat cat.
Yeah.
I remember at one point, I don't know what the fuck happened, but like in that area, people are specifically summoned to fuck with you. So.
Oh yeah, just by going in.
I had one guy summoned as help, and it was just me versus like myself versus like 3 other players. He got totaled. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. So I jumped off a cliff because I was like, I'm not giving them this win. No runbacks for them. I'm out of here.
Point down, throw dung.
See, this is what's so good. This is the good part of Souls, man. We have all these memories. We can go back and forth for hours.
Exactly. Yeah. Experiences. I used to love invading Sen's fortress. It's like the most miserable place in the world. It's full of like bottomless pits. Yeah, but like that shit is memorable. Throwing like poison knives at people trying to walk across.
One of those assholes in the windowsill that like look at you and throw the knives at you.
I would throw dung at people. It was so fun, and like it's crazy. And then people miss out on that completely. Like I guess if you invade, that's also not playing the game properly. I mean I don't know.
Whatever, dude.
It has definitely a toxic fan base because they make up these stupid rules, and that is just not fun. And I don't think that's the majority. Like none of the content creators are like that. No, none of them. I used to have. There's a great content creator. I can't remember her name. I believe it was a girl. She would make PvP videos, and she would annotate them while she was fighting to like give her thoughts like on screen. while like she was doing the fights, and it was like amazing. Like it really helped you understand like how PvP worked, and like she would run into fights like 3-on-1 and still come out on top. It was great.
Fuck that.
And whereas most people, they see 3 enemies, like they take their black crystal and they just leave. they just like
or suicide like me, man. I'm like, dude, there's nothing that gives me more anxiety that says that you're being invaded. Oh my God.
Yeah, your butt just clenches. Oh, here they come, man. This sucks. This big red dude comes out. He's like pointing at you.
Yeah, I can see why it's so loved, man, because you have all these crazy ass memories. At one point, Elliott and I, we tried our Elliott beat Dark Souls 3. I never did. I gave up at one point. But we have this video. I guess we could post it at some point. On the group chat.
Dark Souls chauffeur.
Dark Souls chauffeur, and it was basically him trying to like escort me through an area, and it was just a shit show left and right.
But if you're playing Sekiro, like I do think it gets easier. Like in the beginning, you only have 1 healing item. Like you don't do a lot of damage. As you kill bosses, you get memories. They increase the damage you do, and you're always getting new equipment. It feels more like Castlevania or Metroid than something else, because you're always getting new abilities to access new areas, like the ability to swim underwater and stuff like that. Like I don't know. I feel like, and the game is huge. There's so much to it. I do think it gets better, but it is hard, and it might not be fun. I mean, at first I didn't like Metal Gear Rising because I didn't really get how the parrying worked, but turns out it's actually pretty easy to do. And once I figured that out, I mean, the game got fun. But I feel like everyone's been pressured to just accept that this is a 10 out of 10 experience for everyone, and that's just not true.
Yeah,
so stupid.
It's the Souls games or any game from Sephiroth.
They can't be criticized. Yeah.
Unless it's a mech game, then you can say all sorts of crazy shit.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a Soulsborne, of course it'll be 10 out of 10.
Speaking of which, I heard that Miyazaki wants, the guy who made Dark Souls, I heard he wants to do his own Armored Core, and I think that would be really cool. I mean, I hope that it wouldn't be like slow like Souls, but I mean, Sekiro shows that it can be fast. And if it's mechs, like, I mean, there's so much customization and stuff you could do in Armored Core. I would love to see like a modern, like third-person action or shooter game like that. It'd be so fun.
I'm gonna have a little bit of a confession right now. I'm actually not that big of a fan of Armored Core. I'm just forced to like them.
The shittiest controls ever.
Yeah, I'm just forced to like them because that's the only offering we have from time every couple of years is Armored Core, or we'll get left with like shitty mech games like Left Alive instead. So I'm forced to like them, even though I don't like them that much. It's just an unfortunate truth situation. I just swallow my mic when I have to say stuff I want to emphasize. But yeah, so I guess we whittled the conversation down to basically a small subset of a fan base. It's pretty large. That this makes the game unbearable to talk about.
There's a lot of games like that, though. I mean, I mean, think of Halo when it was popular. Now Halo is like, I mean, I feel like
don't say it's dead.
Old people like it. No,
yeah,
I just feel like old people like it.
Folk,
it's not dead because the announcement that it was coming to PC, how many people came out of the woodwork and how many people yelled about it. Like you could see it's not dead. They're just waiting for something new. But it's like old people that like it. I don't know many young people that give a shit about Halo. But the thing is, remember when it was popular? Like it was every bro in the world that loved it. And it was just super annoying to talk about.
Yeah, those are the dark times of gaming for me because I just couldn't. I hated FPSs, and all you heard about was Halo.
For me, it was the golden age. Man.
Yeah, because you were one of those fucking bros, man.
Yeah, man.
I just want to spit on you, man. But listen, I think this is a topic for another video about like how things have changed for us, dude. Well, to say that Halo's an old man's game, that hurts. Well,
it's not just Halo, it's like arena shooters, games where you run around and pick up guns on the map. They're just not around anymore. Now it's all
Battle Royale games do the same thing. You run around picking guns on the map.
But Battle Royale is like a little different though. Like there's no respawns. It's like there's so much randomness to it. You never really know where the weapons are going to show up. You can know where the powerful stuff is, but there's so much randomness. I mean, there's no randomness in an arena shooter like Halo. Like pretty much, it's all like you know exactly where the weapons are. You even know the time the weapons are going to show up. It's like a knowledge war. You know what I mean? Like
That's
the
true.
more you know, I get why that's not popular because the more you know, I mean, you have to make it even for new players too. It's whatever, but I heard the creator, one of the heads of 343. She said the only BR that will be in Halo 6 is the battle rifle. That makes me happy. I don't give a shit about BR.
We need battle royale. You know what? There needs to be a Souls battle royale, man.
I was thinking. I mean, the last thing we need is another royale. But I would play a Borderlands one because the guns would be so crazy. I would play that.
They just announced a new battle Borderlands. It's not Borderlands 3.
Yeah, the third one.
I never got into Borderlands. That's one game series I just did not care for.
Well, my complaint with is that right now, and I mean this is true for most of it, is like all the guns are so boring. It's all like SMGs, assault rifles, and snipers. Like, put some cool stuff in, you know? Why? Like the Needler is. I mean, some people have different opinions on it, but like, why wouldn't you have like really creative guns? I always think of like Turok and Quake and stuff like that. Like they had such cool. You're always using cool stuff, and I'm just so tired of assault rifles. Who cares? It's so boring.
We totally got way laid off the path of this discussion.
Yeah. Let's go back because what did you want to talk about next?
No, pretty much we pretty much covered all the bases for that discussion about how you can't criticize any game that's top tier, considered top tier, quote unquote, without having the rabid dogs come out and bite you at your ankles. And we all know that that's just a fact of gaming and being as big as a game figure in gaming or game reporting as Jim Sterling, even he's gonna have his distractors, which sucks.
One of my favorite videos, you know that guy Ego Raptor? He did a review of Ocarina of Time, and he took a dump all over it. He said Ocarina of Time is like nowhere near the best Zelda. It's not even the best game on the N64. It's not even like the best game that came out that year. He said like all this stuff. You should go read the comments, man. That's exactly what you'd expect. Like Ocarina of Time is sacred.
Nintendo fans are like the worst. They're like the worst of the worst. They get so
well. Not only did he pick a fight with Nintendo fans, he picked a fight with Ocarina of Time fans. You can't even begin that argument without like it's endless.
I have to check that out because that actually sounds like a shit show that I would enjoy reading.
It's an excellent. It's not. It's a video, so you'll like it even more.
Shit. Wow,
it's a massive shit show.
no fucking thank you. Okay, so we've covered Sekiro and Jim Sterling.
Yeah, let's talk about a game we can. Are you happy that you did not buy them?
You know what? I can't say I'm happy I didn't waste money, but I do wish I could play it.
Every time I see the gameplay, it looks fantastic. But it's all the shit that's around that. Yeah.
Then you hear like it's just in between that, the fighting and whatnot. It's like 30 minutes of bullshit and like nothing, and then there's like random spots of fighting or something like that.
Look, man, you and I both Destiny. We've already played this game. A great game that plays well, that is just frustrating to play. Like, I mean, everything around it sucks.
It's such a shame, dude. You know, I think people saw the writing on the wall for this because this is EA, right? So like, this is par for the course for them. Speaking of EA, even though from consistently from launch, I absolutely love Battlefront 2, even when it was an incomplete mess. Almost 2 years later, the game's excellent. It's like one of the best Star Wars experiences available, but it took 2 years for it to reach that mark, and it just sucks that a lot of these games are coming out now and they're so like on this other level, and you play them and they're like half cooked, and you have to wait like 2 years, 3 years for them to be fit. Remember that sailing game that came out for Microsoft a long ago?
Yeah, what was it called? Sea of Thieves. Yeah.
I bet that
is
game
it like a good game now.
I'm assuming so, because usually it takes like a year, or maybe has it been a year since it came out? I don't know.
Yeah, when they I mean.
But when it launched, it was garbage. Think of
was like Destiny 1. When The Taken King came out, the game became, I thought, amazing. Like, I bought it again. And then it kind of slipped down again. It got shitty. But the really big one right now is No Man's Sky. Everyone seems to love it now, even though it was one of the most upsetting launches ever.
Yeah, I bought it like almost a year or two after it came out, and it's actually a decent game. It's like you can play it, and it's fun. And it sucks because you hype these things at launch, and then you give an incomplete product, and then you wonder why your fans are so upset, or people are criticizing you. It's because you can't. If you're gonna do these kind of things, just charge $30-$40, and then like make it up somehow for expansion packs. Don't charge $60 off the bat and then ask for more money on top of that. It makes no sense. Not for
Well, I mean, I
nothing for
just
the
heard.
game.
I mean, I was just watching an Angry Joe video, and he pointed out this like I guess they call them vinyls. That's like the skins in the game Anthem. Because first of all, Anthem has so many problems. It's so much worse than the games we mentioned because um, it's like a looter shooter, and all the guns are the same, like aesthetically.
Jeez.
The numbers don't really matter because the game apparently averages out everyone's damage based on their level. So like level 1 person can go fight the final boss and still have a good chance of killing them.
Ooh, wow.
And then also all the armor in the game is DLC, like it's cosmetic DLC. I don't know if it even has any bonuses because I don't play the game, but you can't customize the way your character looks in an RPG. You know, that there's no stat screen. These little things like that. I mean, it had to be done on purpose because
Even Fantasy Star Online has that, and it's like a decade old.
Yeah, like little things like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I mean, well, it does make sense to me because then the point was they're selling this vinyl, which is just a skin, a cosmetic for your character. It costs like 66,000 gold in game, or $8. And 66,000 gold is an obscene amount apparently. And then they took the vinyl down because so like his video was saying that they were studying the data to see how many people would buy that shit. And I'll tell you what, man, people will buy it. They'll spend the $8 too. They won't spend the 66. Like they'll spend real money because we're done. That's like what we've taught these companies is that we're stupid.
Yeah. We're stupid enough. We'll complain. We'll wheel about and make noise. But if it comes down to it, we'd rather whip out that credit card instead of actually taking a stand
for cosmetics. And that's what kills me.
Back in the day, we could just unlock that stuff, and now we have to pay for it.
See, yeah, because Destiny 2 was launched, and it was like a completely unacceptable game. Like it was really like it was missing so many things, like basic things, even fun things. Like when you're riding on your Sparrow, your hover bike, in the first one you had like a horn. There's no horn in the second game, so we all thought, oh, well, they're just going to sell us the horn later, you know, like they'll be annoying and like do that. They didn't even do that. It's still not in the game. So I don't even know. But anyway, it got better because they released Forsaken. It's just like the Taken King. Like they improved the game and now it's shitty again. Like it's just boring. They haven't updated any of the vendors, what they sell, but they sure have updated the fucking Eververse, which is stuff you have to buy with real money, the cosmetics. They've updated that like a dozen times. So you can see they're just greedy. All these companies are greedy. It's really annoying.
I heard Division 2 is not that bad.
Yeah, I heard it's great, but I don't know. I can't play another looter shooter.
Yeah, exactly. No, I really like Division 1, but like I didn't buy it full price. You know what, man? This brings me to my other point. It's just that the more and more, I don't know. I feel like because my backlog is so huge, I don't want to continue on with what's coming out. I just want to go back and play what's been out and what's been tried and tested and true, and not have to worry about having to buy a game today and wait 3 years later for it to be fully complete.
My new policy is I try to buy single player games like straight away, and multiplayer games I'll get like right away if I really care. But my backlog is so good. Like I have to beat Sekiro. I'm still not there. I have Devil May Cry, which I haven't even played.
Oh, me too.
Which it looks amazing. Jerry said it's game of the year. He said that he liked it that much. He likes it more than Sekiro.
Jerry, your brother?
Or Lewis Saint.
Get the fuck out. He likes Devil May Cry that much?
Yeah, he this is the first one he ever played, and he said that it's the best action game he's ever played. He said.
Well, that's good. That's good for him. I'm
happy. Yeah, okay. I really like action games, so we'll see. The first Bayonetta is like one of my favorites, so we'll see how good this is. I'm excited.
It was really funny. Before we sign off, I was thinking of Anarchy Reigns. That was by Platinum, you know.
Yeah, it was. You know what?
Online multiplayer action game. It just failed.
I made a mistake. I picked the wrong character. I picked the dude from Mad World to do his story first.
Max?
It was so boring. And then I used the other
one to play as. The other guy plays like Raiden, basically.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the story. That's the story for another time. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I guess we'll find a way to continually pump these podcasts out.
Yeah. On our way out, what do you play? Battlefront, right?
I'm playing Battlefront every night when I come back from work. I don't know if you can check my Facebook or not, but every night I stream Battlefront 2.
Oh, nice.
So I play that. I haven't touched Sekiro in a couple days because it just pisses me off. But I've been mostly playing Battlefront 2.
And then we've been playing a little bit of Apex Legends. This is it's the in thing to do, right? And it's pretty fun.
I can't believe like Overwatch was such a big thing a couple years ago, and now it's just like gone. That's crazy. It was huge.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too. I mean, this is the thing. I thought it was pretty good, but I didn't think it was the second coming. And
no.
I think it's obvious because it died so quick. Even Call of Duty is still around. It refuses to die.
Yeah, it's like a cockroach or something. But that's a discussion for another time. Thank you for joining us here at Save State Society. This is Bamidele Ojo, and this is, of course,
Elliott Mest.
And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you.